What up? What up? What up? Happy Thursday. Another exciting week. How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? The weekend is here early, so that's always a blessing, but that means the kids are home from school. So, it's all good though. But tonight we got Marvin coming in. Marvin is the credit guru, credit expert. He's going to come share game tonight on the importance of credit and what credit can do for you. Like, I don't think people realize that you're really working twice as hard out here in these streets or in life when you have bad credit. So, the thing is, like, look, credit is going to be a powerful tool, especially if the market shifts or if you need to pivot. You know, all of us have been affected with COVID, well, through COVID, different business things, but when you got credit, you can always pivot because when you got credit available, you always can make things happen. So, that's the thing, but you got to be disciplined and you got to have the right structure. So tonight when Marvin jumps in here, we're going to be able to talk about credit and, the different tools and how to really leverage credit for your benefit and how to live the proper lifestyle with credit. Not to be using credit to go ahead and shop and buy cars and all that stuff, but to use credit as an emergency or even as a tool to build more income. So let's see. Let's get Marvin in here. My guy.
Man, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. What's up, man? How are you? All right?
I'm blessed and I'm highly favored, brother. How are you?
That's good to hear, man. Good to hear, man. We appreciate you tapping in, man. Always good to have you.
Most definitely, most definitely. They say when the big dogs call, you got to answer. That's what they tell me. They say when the big dogs call, you got to answer. So I'm just picking up the phone. I'm just picking up the phone.
Oh, nah, man. We appreciate it. People, we've been talking, well, every week we've been having different guests, but it always goes back to the fundamentals of credit. And, I don't think people realize, I was just saying before you jumped in here, like, people don't realize they're working harder than they have to because they only can leverage cash. And for some people, you can only make but so much cash working 40 hours a week or having so many clients. But when you got credit, you can multiply things, you can leverage things, and you're able to really flourish. So that was why I had to make sure I got nobody, other than yourself, Marvin, the credit guru, the credit wizard. You had some great mentors, so and you're out here moving and shaking. So we definitely appreciate it. But for those who don't know Marvin, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. So what's going on, family? My name is Marvin Francois. I'm the owner and founder of Francois Capital LLC, which is a credit repair company. We also specialize in providing people trade lines to help boost their credit. We also help to provide personal and business funding to help people, get access to capital to invest in things like real estate, like my guy Lee. Whether you want to do short-term rental, long-term rental, whatever it may be. If you want to start a trucking company, if you want to start a car rental fleet, if you want to, any and everything under the sun, right? We help to provide funding for that. And, my focus is any and all things personal credit, from building it, repairing it, leveraging it, the whole thing from A to Z. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, that's definitely the thing. So it's like, yo, if you can utilize having somebody like Marvin on your team, just think about it. You don't have to pull the train by yourself. You don't have to work, and do these things solo.
Hmm.
Marvin's get you there. So I mean, Marvin, let's just talk about the basics before we jump into some of the tricks of the trade, right?
Hmm.
So as a person that's out here moving and shaking, we just got through the pandemic. Where do you feel like people should be to be like, I'm gonna just say to be a decent citizen. If I want to be a decent citizen, um, what credit score do I need to be able to function in the world today, post
That's
COVID?
okay. That's my favorite question because I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to credit. Everybody and their grandmother thinks that, they need a certain score. But when you really start to learn more about credit, it's less about score and it's more about the profile. Because one thing I've learned through my own personal experiences is that you could have a 700 and get denied for things that somebody with a 680 can get approved for, right? I'm gonna say that again. I'm gonna say it slow. You can get so you can have a 700 and get denied for some things that someone with a 680 could get approved for, right? So it goes back really to your credit profile. Now, typically what you want your profile to look like. You talk about just a decent citizen, right? We talking about you just want to make sure you in solid
The, ev-
standing, right?
the everyday person. So I like to talk to the people that's out here doing whatever it is they do, and
Mm-hmm.
they not trying to live lavish, but they not trying to live bare minimum neither.
Right. Okay, perfectly fine. So let's break it down. In terms of what your credit profile needs to look like, it's very simple. First off, we start off with payment history. Can't have no late payments. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you have something showing on your credit report, you need to make sure that you're paying it on time each and every single month, even if it means you got to overdraft the bank account, you got to borrow $20 from your grandmother's auntie, sister's cousin, meaning that you got to, take money from under the mattress, whatever needs to be done to make sure that anything that's shown on your credit report is being paid in a timely fashion. Do so, because payment history is the most important part of your credit report profile. It makes up 35% of your overall score, and if you have any types of late payments on there, you're not going to be in good standing, right? So
But
that's the first thing.
but
Go ahead, say
but
what you got to say.
what I know what they gonna say, but what about it's from 7 years ago? I've been paying the card ever since. It's from 5 to 7 years ago. Marvin,
Well,
I can't. That's can I do something with that?
Well, yeah. So the thing about a late payment is that a late payment stops negatively affecting your score after 2 years. So if once that 2 year mark passes, even though it still may be shown on your credit report, it's no longer negatively affecting your score. However, if you are in a position to go out and get your credit repaired, FrancoisCapital.com, you can definitely, if you are in a position to do that, you definitely should do that to get, your payment history updated. But once it passes that 2 year mark, it's no longer negatively affecting your score, even though it's still showing on there, right? So that's payment history. What are you about to say?
I'll be transparent, Marvin. I have a late payment on two of my credit cards.
I'm about to walk away. I can't believe
No,
this.
look, but
I
Marvin,
can't believe this. Talk to me. Talk to
like
me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so. Mine is the fact that you got a Cowboys banner here.
We're
Mine
not
is
talking about that right now. We're not talking about that. Let's
yeah.
focus. Let's talk about credit. Let's talk
Let's
about credit.
focus.
Let's
Yeah, we
focus.
gonna
Let's focus.
focus. We'll focus. So I got a decent credit profile overall, but I got from 2013, I got one late payment.
Mm-hmm.
2014, I got one late payment
Mm-hmm.
on a
You
credit
good?
card. So, like you said, it's not affecting me, but it does show. Like when you look at my profile, yo, you got these two things with late payments, and they from
Mm-hmm.
2014 and 13.
Right. Yeah. Once it passes that 2 year mark, even though it's still like some people, they usually use like Credit Karma and like the Experian app to monitor their credit report. But if you're using a credit monitoring service like Identity IQ is one of the best credit monitoring services that you can use. And if you go on
Yeah.
If you go on Identity IQ and you pull your credit report on there, those late payments from 2013 and 2014 won't even show, because once again, once it crosses that 2 year mark, you're pretty much good to go, right? That doesn't mean that you should be all willy-nilly if you do get a late payment, right? Once again, you want to make sure that you're paying your bills on time. You should never get a late payment and think to yourself, all right, 2 years from now, this won't even matter. No. If you don't have any late payments on your credit report, keep it that way. But if you do and you can get them off, fantastic, right? But no, just know once it passes that 2 year mark, you're pretty much good to go. So that's payment history, right? Now,
Okay.
you want me to keep going?
Keep going.
All right, next thing we have on there is your overall credit card utilization. Now, this is one that kills a lot of people, right? Because you have individuals that um, are confused because they're like, yo, I don't got no late payments, or everything is paid on time. I don't know why my credit score looked the way it looked. You pull a credit report and they're maxed out on all their credit cards, and it's like
Mm.
they're not able to make it make sense. When it comes to credit card utilization, right? First thing that you need to know is that, if for anybody who doesn't know, credit card utilization is of the total amount of credit that you have available to you, how much of that credit are you using, right? So the number that we've all been taught is your credit card utilization should never go above 30%. But if you're trying to be in the cream of the crop, you really want to make sure it's 10% or lower.
Okay.
If your credit card utilization is just a bit under 30%, and it's not going to negatively affect your credit score. But if you want your credit utilization to be in a position where it's positively affecting your score and your score is actually improving, you want it to be 10% or lower, right? So I don't want to see no credit reports with 40% utilization, 50% utilization, none of that. You understand? 10% or lower. You want to make sure it's 10% or lower as it pertains to the credit card utilization. Then from there, you have length of credit history. Now, with the length of credit history, this is the one that's the most annoying to me, And anybody that's new to starting to build their credit, just for the simple fact that's the one thing that you have no control over, which is time, right? Typically, you want your credit report to be aged out to get to a position where you're able to actually use your credit to leverage it. You really want to be in that 2 to 4+ year mark. Now, unfortunately, like I said before, it's not you can't speed up time. You can't manipulate that in any way, shape, or form. You kind of just have to play the waiting game. But once your length of overall credit history is in that range, that's when you're pretty much good to go. And then from there, the last two components that make up your profile. Then you have credit mix, which is basically the different variety of accounts that you have showing on your credit report. So when it comes to credit, there are two types of credit. You have revolving lines of credit and installment lines of credit, right? So revolving lines of credit are just like regular credit cards that you'll get. But when installment lines of credit are things like student loans, auto loans, mortgages, things of that nature. So typically, when you want to make yourself look lendable, and you want to make, as Herman Dosa would say, shout out to Asian CEO, you want to make yourself look sexy to the banks. You want to have a nice, versatile, a nice, diverse credit profile, right? So they don't want to just see 40 credit cards on there. They want to see credit cards. They want to see, if you have, if there are people who have student loans on their credit report now and they think it's hurting them, when in actuality it's helping them if you've been paying it on time, because
Right.
that student loan is diversifying your credit report. It's making your credit report look much more full to banks that you may be looking to get, some cash from, some loans from, and things like that. So that's credit mix. And then the last, but certainly not least, and this is another killer for a lot of people, is hard inquiries. When it comes to your credit report, you should never have more than 2 to 4 hard inquiries showing on your credit report on any of the 4 bureaus. Point blank, period. I work in credit repair. I done seen some credit reports with 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 inquiries at a time on a credit report. It gets crazy. And what kills me about it is that not only will these people have a lot of inquiries on their credit report, but they'll have like 40 inquiries and 30 of them came from like Chase. It's like, yo, Chase didn't accept you the first 5 times, but you thought come back another 25 and hopefully like what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing? But those are the 5 main components that you want to focus on. If you get those 5 in order, your score will follow. Because once again, you can have a 700. Like when I first started building my credit, I had a 700 credit score, but that was because I was an authorized user on somebody else's credit card, and I couldn't do nothing with that because my profile was so thin, right? But anybody who really understands credit, anybody who really knows credit, if your credit is nice and full, unless you're absolutely not using it at all, typically it'll probably be in that like low 700s range or whatever the case may be. But regardless of what your score shows, as long as those 5 components are taken care of, your score will usually you should be at least 680 or higher, right? So if for some people that are watching that need to hear some type of number, realistically, if you're 680 or higher, you're fine. But focus more on those 5 components, and the score will follow. It's one way, not the other way around.
So somebody in the comments just posted that hard inquiries will hurt your credit.
100%. Yeah. So whenever you get a hard pull on your credit report, and for those who don't know, a hard pull is basically like whenever you apply for credit and the creditor basically leaves a mark on your credit report to let future lenders know that, hey, I was here. This person tried to get credit from me. So
Right.
whenever you apply for certain types of credit, that is a situation where you will get a hard inquiry on your credit report, and that hard inquiry will result in your score dropping anywhere between 2 to 9 points on average. So yeah, he or she is 100% right.
And then somebody else just said that if you get denied, are you supposed to get the hard inquiry removed?
So it depends. Now, the thing about a hard inquiry is that what I tell people is that the only way that you can have it removed is if one of two things. If it's not connected to an open account, so chances are if you are applying for a credit card, and you got denied, and that credit card, obviously you got denied, it's not showing on your credit report, then yes, you can have it removed, right? And another situation I'll say is you also want to make sure that that hard inquiry doesn't have a similar name to another credit account that's showing on your report. Because depending on how you go about disputing it, now once again, this kind of depends on how you go about disputing it. There are some instances where if the name of the inquiry is similar to another account that you have on your credit report, and let's say sometimes you send it in by mail, a lot of times the bureaus can get it confused and then end up, touching an account they weren't supposed to touch. Now, boom, a credit card that you didn't want to get closed gets closed, right?
Mm.
So typically, I don't really advise people, like if you got a hard inquiry for like Chase or something like that, and you have another credit card on there with a name that's similar to it, I don't advise for people to touch those inquiries because, I'd much rather have an inquiry stay on there because after 1 year, it stops negatively affecting your score. And after 2 years, it falls off. I'd much rather just have the inquiry on there versus risk getting an account closed. But yeah, if you got denied for a card, and as long as you don't have another card on there with a similar name, you can get it removed.
So Reggie just said he learned how to remove inquiry removals from you on your YouTube
Well,
video from Experian.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I teach him a little something. 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 Shout out to Reggie, man. I appreciate you.
Right. No, we was running that video to the ground when you released that video.
Hey man, I still have people that message me to this day like, yo, I just got 20 inquiries off this and this, that, and that. Yeah, that I didn't know that was such a big problem in the community, but I'm happy I was able to provide some value on it. So that's super duper dope. Yeah.
Somebody asks, would you remove a hard inquiry before it hits your report?
Yeah, but I'm gonna put an asterisk next to the end. I'm gonna tell you why. That's a very risky thing to do. I've only done that with inquiries that show on Experian. So the way that you can go about doing that, and this is I guess a gem or whatever the case may be for people, is the way it works is whenever you apply for something, you get approved for that thing, the inquiry will pop up on your credit report the second you apply for it. But once you get approved, that account doesn't pop up on your credit report right then and there. For different credit cards, sometimes it could take a different amount of time to show on your credit report, right? I've had credit cards that I got approved for week 1 and it didn't show up on my credit report till like 2-3 weeks down the line. So what the one hack I guess you could do is in that time span between when that hard inquiry shows up on your credit report to when you anticipate for the card to officially pop up on your credit report, you can use that time in between to call into the credit reporting agencies and have the inquiry and dispute on the inquiry to have it removed. Because even though the inquiry is technically connected to an open account that you did get approved for, right, it's not showing on your credit report yet. So the bureaus don't know that. So if you call in and you're like, hey, I don't know what this inquiry is, it's fraudulent, get it out of here, within that time span before the account gets posted, you can have it removed. The only problem with that, though, is that I only recommend playing that game with Experian because Experian is the only credit reporting agency I personally know that you can get an inquiry off the same day. TransUnion takes a little bit of time, and Equifax, I still haven't found success with doing the hack with Equifax. But Experian, you could play that game because you could call and the inquiry fall off in 2 hours. Last thing you want to happen, going back to what I just said before, is you call in, try and get an inquiry removed, the account posts while the dispute is happening. The next thing you know, same day the account posts, same day it get taken off because you over here dispute on an inquiry that's connected to an open account. So that's what I would say about that.
They just said that if you call TransUnion, they're gonna call the creditor to confirm it.
Well, no, TransUnion I'll say Experian is easy. TransUnion is a flip of a coin type thing. Like some people have had success with TransUnion, some people struggle with it. Equifax. Let me tell you something about Equifax. I'm still trying to crack that code. I'm still trying to figure that out. If anybody here figures it out, I'll pay you because I still haven't figured it out. You understand me? But Experian and TransUnion, yeah.
Okay. And then for the people that, again, if you need a score, Marvin said, yo, 680, but make sure that mix is what you want to make sure that you have.
100%.
And then I guess, how often should you be pulling for new credit?
That's a great question. I mean, typically if you're going for funding, you should try and go for funding like every 4 to 6 months because whenever, let's say you apply for a round, you are going for a round of personal funding this month, and then let's say you go to 3 banks and you apply for personal funding this month for those 3 banks, and you get approved, denied, whatever the case may be. But then you circle back 2 months, 3 months later, typically banks don't want to see that you've also, okay, this may sound a bit contradictory, but banks don't like giving credit to people that seem like they need it. So what happens is if you go and apply for credit to this bank and then you apply to credit to another bank within a very short period of time, it's very unattractive to that lender because it's like now you see needy. Like, okay, you weren't able to get credit here, and now you circling and block back to come get some credit over here. You understand? Like it's not a good look. So typically, depending on what you're going for, whether it's personal funding, business funding, I say try and do it like every 4 to 6 months. I think that's a good time frame.
God, yeah, somebody just said, yeah, you don't want to look desperate. Don't look desperate.
You don't want to look desperate.
Because the crazy thing, I was telling somebody like, yo, they gave me more money when I didn't need it, but when I needed it, everybody was telling me no.
Yeah, because like once again, they have these banks have data points and that they're looking at to see like because the bank's number one priority, like the banks want to give out the money, but at the same time, a bank needs to mitigate liability. That's why they have all these data points behind the scenes, right? Because all these things that you see, credit card utilization, inquiries, payment history, all of these systems are put in place for the bank to protect itself, to ensure that if I give you this money,
You gonna pay
you gonna pay me back. So
right.
now any and every little thing under the sun that they can take to make them raise their eyebrow to either deny you for credit, or if they're going to give you credit, give you the smallest amount, they're going to use it, even though they want to give you that bag. But you just have to be smart and strategical about how you go about doing it.
Right. So somebody else just asked, if you're not using the credit card and the lender wants to close the account, what should you do?
Use the credit card because now that requires a little bit more context because why does the lender or the creditor, excuse me, want to close a credit card? Is it because you haven't been responsible with how you manage the account because you had terrible payment history, or you don't understand like is the account getting ready to go into collections? Like I would need a little bit more context than that.
Let's
But
let's just let's just say it's because the account is inactive. Let's just say that.
then you should definitely start using a credit card. One thing I'll say, like even myself, like I've been building my credit out for a good amount of time now. I still have my secured card. Like I have friends here and there that when they started building their credit, they had to start out with a secure card like a lot of us did, and now they got the big boy credit cards, MX Platinum this and Chase Sapphire Reserve Preferred that. And they're like, yo, I'm about to close it. I'm about to close my Capital One secure card. I don't even use it. I'm like, yo, just use it once a year. Just keep it open, right? Because that card is contributing to your length of overall credit history, which going back to what I said before, that's the one aspect of your credit you have absolutely no control over. So nobody should have any credit card, like even and like I said, even myself, like I barely use my own Capital One secured card, but like once every 6 months, I usually go buy like a pencil or something like that, just so that the bank can see that hey, I'm still using this,
Right.
keep this thing open, so that it's continuing to build up my credit history because it's my oldest credit card. If I close that, or if I let the bank close that, my credit score is going to drop drastically because it's my oldest card.
Gotcha. So tell me this. What do you think about people using their credit
Hmm.
to live life? Such
Define
as,
define live life.
so I got you. So, hey, one credit card is to pay bills.
Okay.
One credit card is to pay for gas. Another credit
Hmm.
card might be for family expenses.
Hmm.
So this way, like you said, we keep that 10%, but then we diversify and,
Hmm.
everything separated and we're not
Hmm.
just swiping this one card.
No, I absolutely love that. I implore that. Matter of fact, I tell people all the time, like I got into an argument with a young lady under my post the other day because she was like, credit is the devil. Credit is evil. It's debt. How you going to become financially free if this and this? Like, yo, the wealthiest people in the country did not save their way to wealth.
Right.
They borrowed money. The problem here is that, is the problem here is not credit, it's the lack of understanding and information, right? So we now have to educate ourselves properly on how to properly use credit. Now, granted, let's say you're not an investor, you're not trying to be a real estate mogul like A. Lee and own all of Philadelphia. Maybe you're just trying to live a regular life.
Right.
You should still be working to build and use credit. One of the easiest way to do it is to just replace your debit cards with your credit cards. It's
Mm,
the simplest way to get that rocking and rolling. Like if anybody, matter of fact, if anybody who's watching this live is still using your debit cards, I want you to go outside, go sit in your car, turn on some Jodeci, and let's just think about your life. And that's not me throwing shots. That's just me saying you're being childish. You're being immature. You understand? There's no reason why anybody who's watching this live should be still using their debit cards. Whatever you would use your debit cards for, just use your credit cards for those things. It's called organic spend. So if you were going to use your debit card to put gas in your car, use your credit card and then pay back that money with the debit card. So that way you can get rewards from your credit card, cash back, points for your next travel, things like that. You don't got to go and invest and do all these crazy things if you don't want to, but just use your credit card for things you are already going to buy, right? The problem is a lot of times people get credit and they go run and they use that extra money to buy things they weren't going to buy anyway. Don't do that. If you're not using the credit for investing or for organic spend, then that's where it becomes irresponsible. That's where it becomes problematic. So it's not the card, it's you and how you use it.
Right. It's your habits or your lack of good habits.
There you go. There you go. 100%.
No, they said they pay you to spend. Somebody just said they pay you to spend the money that you were going to spend anyway, so you might as well benefit from
Like, bro,
it.
like Discover has a so the one great credit card I'll recommend for anybody, the Discover It Cashback card. I think the Discover It Cashback card is the most underrated credit card, in my personal opinion, right now, because it's one of the only credit cards that I know that has a rotating cashback category every quarter of the year. So
You said Discover. Which one? You got me checking the archive on this.
my bad. I don't know. Maybe you got it in touch. Maybe you don't. The Discover It Cashback card. I don't know if you got it or not. But
I'm gonna pull it up when we get done. I gotta double check.
yeah, there we go. Nah, yeah, but the Discover It Cashback card. I don't know why more people don't talk about it. I think it's one of the more underrated credit cards out right now because it's one of the only credit cards I know about that has a rotating cashback category every
Hmm.
quarter of the year. So what that means is that with the Discover It Cashback card, every quarter of the year represents 3 months, right? So for one quarter of the year, what they'll do is for those select 3 months, Discover will have different categories that they'll give you 5% cash back on. And most
Now,
of those categories are things that people are using every day: drugstores, restaurants, gas
right.
stations. Like with most credit cards, they'll give you cashback rewards, but they only give you cashback rewards on specific, on specific things. Like you'll get 2% cash back, but you only get that 2% cash back at restaurants. That's it. Or you'll get 4% cash back and you only get 4% cash back on gas. That's it. With the Discover a cashback card, you get cash back 5%, 5% now on groceries, restaurants, drugstores, gas, supermarkets. Amazon is another thing. Like the list just goes on, and those categories rotate all throughout the year. So you have one credit card that's giving you 5% of your money back for buying things that you were already going to buy with your debit card. Why would you still be using your debit card? You understand? It's very simple.
And the crazy thing is, that's more than what the bank gives you for leaving the money in your bank, in your checking account or your
You about
savings.
you about to make me stand up. You about to make me stand up. Say
Yo,
say say it again, bro. Say it again.
the 5% cash back is more than what most banks give you just for leaving the money in the checking or savings account. Let alone try to go open up a CD and see what they offer you without you
Man,
put, without you
let me
putting $1 million in the account.
I done stood up, man. I done stood up.
Oh,
I done stood up, man. You talking spicy now. Come on, you about to make me sweat. You about to
look,
make me sweat, man.
somebody said, two people just said, what about Chase Freedom? Somebody said Chase Freedom is just as good as that Discover It.
Yeah, the Chase Freedom card is good. It has a couple of different categories on there. I think you get 1.5 to 2% on all purchases, and then I think they also have like 3% on gas. I don't remember the exact specs off the top of my head, but the Chase Freedom Unlimited card, I don't know. I know they have the Chase Freedom Flex and the Chase Freedom Unlimited. I'm personally a proponent of the Chase Freedom Unlimited. I think that's one of the best credit cards out right now. It's really one of the best credit cards ever. Like every year, it's in somebody's top 5 or top 7. If you can get your hands on that card, get that card. The only problem with that card though is Chase is really bougie, like very, 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 very bougie about who they give their credit to. But if you can get your hands on that card, get that card. But they have something. I don't know if people know this. Another quick gem: the 524 rule. A lot of people don't know this. But Chase has a. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, Ali. If you, I'm
I've
sure
heard.
you. Yeah, I mean, this is this
Nah,
preseason.
but I'm a student of the game, so
I
go
know.
ahead. I'm taking notes.
Right. No, so very simply put, the Chase Freedom, like the Chase has this unspoken rule called 524, where basically, if you've had 5 new credit accounts open within the past 24 months, they're not going to approve you for
Right.
majority of their credit card products, right? So that's one of the things that they kind of have in place, and then also it's just other little things. Like a lot of times there are banks like them that they want to see they prefer people who have way more aged out credit reports and things like that. But the 524 rule is one of the biggest rules. So going back to what we were talking about before, where banks don't want to give credit to people who seem like they need it. If you've opened 5 new credit accounts within the last 24 months, you are not getting a credit card with Chase.
Right.
It's just not happening until one of those cards, get past that 24-month mark, and then a slot opens up for you to go get the Chase Freedom Unlimited, or for you to go get the Chase Freedom Flex, the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and stuff like that. But I love the Chase Freedom Unlimited. That's a great credit card.
So for those of you just tuning in, right? We're talking about everyday person and properly utilizing your credit to prosper in life. So I'm saying, hey, imagine if you've got 3 credit cards, your go-to credit cards. Marvin said, throw out the debit card, run it over, go drop it in the driveway, wherever you're going to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But use these 3 credit cards and break it up. You got your expenses for your house.
Yep.
You got your gas spending.
Yes, sir.
You got, I don't know, whatever other expense you want to say that you're going to use this third one, right? So I'm going to just call it the U card, the card you use to get you food while you out, you know, do a little bullshitting out there. Whatever it is you're doing, treat yourself.
Right.
But now, every time you swipe organically, every time you spend the money you were already going to spend, you get 2% cash back. You get 5%. You get reward points. And now you ask yourself, how much money have you made spending the money you were already going to spend? Now your credit score goes up. Your history with it keeps improving with the banks or with the credit card companies.
Right.
But then now, when your bill comes out, right, this is the game changer that's really going to help you guys. Don't wait till the bill is due. Pay the bill 15 days before it's due and then pay it again when the bill is actually due. So you pay twice a month because you got the money sitting in the account. Now the credit card companies, and Marvin, you could tell us, more than likely after a certain amount of time, won't they improve my credit limit? Won't they increase my credit limit without me asking?
Right. So what you're referring to, so a lot of people know about like your payment due date, right? Which is the main one that everybody and their grandmother knows about, right? Where that's the date that you have to make sure you pay your credit card on time to ensure that you don't get a late payment on your credit report. One thing that you could do to make sure that, and this is actually another little trick to, because earlier, for the people that's been here for a while, we talked about making sure your credit card utilization doesn't go over that, 30% mark. We really want to keep it under that 10% mark, right? One thing that you could do, make sure you do this responsibly, is that a lot of people know about a statement date, right? So the statement date or the closing date for your credit card is the date where that creditor looks at your credit card balance and takes whatever your balance is on that exact day and reports it to the credit reporting agencies. So one thing that you could do, right, to make sure that you're always in great standing with the credit card company, to make sure that your limits are constantly getting increased and that things are going swimmingly, is you want to first find out when the statement date is for that credit card. Very simply, all you got to do is every month the credit card company is sending you a statement showing all your transactions. Your statement date is going to be on that digital or physical statement, whether they're mailing it to you or putting it in your banking app, or you just call them and find out what it is. Once you figure out what that date is, you want to make sure, if you want to max out your credit card responsibly, right? Let's say you just wanted to use that card to buy things you was already going to buy anyway, and you just so happen to max it out. It's fine. But you want to make sure that when the time for your statement date comes, you pay that balance down expeditiously, right? To that 10% or lower, so that on that day, and you don't want to pay it down on that date. You want to pay it down 1 to 2 days before that date, because so that when that day comes, the payment is processed. And your balance, even though for the majority of the month, let's say you had $1,000 limit and you want to keep it below 10%, which is around like $100, right? To make sure that your credit card utilization is good. But let's say you had a purchase that came up that was $800. You spent $800. Now your credit card balance is $900, right? As long as you pay that $800 back to the bank before a couple of days before your statement date comes, once that statement date arrives, the credit reporting agency is not going to see the $800 that you spent. They're going to see the $100 that's there that you made sure was your actual balance a couple of days before your statement date. So that's one way to for the people that's like, well, if I can't use my full credit card, why am I even getting it? You can, but just know that if you want to make sure that you're using it wisely, you know when your statement date is and you're good to go.
Right. Again, if you can be disciplined enough, you can use it because you're going to pay it before it's due. But if you're not, that 10 to 30% rule will keep
it there.
Because we're going to do what? We're going to spread it around. That's what we're going to do. We spread it around.
100%.
But again, you want to make sure that you're delegating these cards to have a purpose. I was listening to a real estate podcast and he said, when I get any check, I break it down 3 ways. And it's like, you can do that with your money. You can do it with your credit as well. It's using the money with a purpose. That's all it is. None of this money is ours. It all has a purpose and it's a tool. So if you can learn to use these as tools, what Doug Depp say, money comes to me frequently and abundantly.
There you go. 1, 2. Simple as that. 100%. Yeah.
So we definitely appreciate those, Jims, while we got you for a few more minutes. And we appreciate all the questions. You guys are asking some great questions. I see a lot of people like talking about credit. Credit is a
Yo,
big
people
thing.
love credit, man. People love it. I mean, I like it. You know what I'm saying? I don't love it the way I see a lot of people, flock to it. But I think it's dope, man. I think it's really, really dope. That means we're pushing the conversation, helping people become more financially literate and learn more about a tool that's been around forever. But it seems like, now our people are starting to get more akin to, which is amazing. So I think that's great.
Right. And I think the other part to it is we've been, what's the word? Misled
Facts.
on how to properly use credit.
Facts.
So that's kind of the reason why we kind of, like you said, you grow up here and don't use credit. It's only for emergencies, or don't ever have,
Yes.
because you don't never want to owe nobody. Just keep the money in the mattress. Nah,
Facts.
you grinding harder than you got to. You grinding
Facts.
harder than you got to.
Facts. Facts.
But
Facts. Facts.
with that said, if our personal credit is in order, can you touch on how we can leverage that into business credit?
Oh, come on, man. I was waiting. I was trying to be patient. Right.
Look, well,
So,
you see, we laid the foundation because, again, business credit is a great tool,
mhm,
but in the wrong hands, it'll ruin you, just like personal credit.
100%. Yeah. So the question is how we can use our personal credit to get access to business credit, correct?
Correct.
Right. So there's a couple of things with that. So the first thing I would say is that before you start looking for business credit or business funding, you want to make sure that you have a properly structured business, right? There's a couple of steps you need to take. You see, business credit is a lot more. Personal credit is delicate. Business credit is a million times more delicate. You want to make sure that you want to make sure you have your foundation right, you have everything in place, right? So that when you go to the bank and get what, shout out to my guy Mr. Phenomenal. Me and him call it the bag. You understand? Because personal credit is the bag, business credit is the bag. There's a couple of things that you want to make sure that you have in place. So first and foremost, before you get business credit, you want to have a properly structured business. What does a properly structured business look like? Well, first and foremost, you want to make sure that you have your LLC. You want to make sure you have your EIN. You want to make sure that you have your operating agreement, right? Those are the three main things, right? And then from there, you also want to make sure that your business has other things that, once again, going back to my guy Herman Dulce, are going to make it look sexy to the banks. Well, what does that mean? A lot of times people create businesses, but don't understand that, there's a lot more that goes into it beyond just the LLC and the EIN and the operating agreement. So you also want to make sure that for your business, you get your business a landing page. You want to get your business a official business email, right? Official business email looks like what? It's not youngmoney54 at gmail.com. It's not youngman8085 at Yahoo. It's info at yourbusinessname.com. Sales at yourbusinessname.com. From there, and then that only costs like $12 a year off like Google or GoDaddy or HostGator or any of these websites, right? So you got your business at, you have your business landing page, you have your business email. Next thing you want to do is you want to get your business a business phone number, right? Now, somebody may be hearing these things and may be thinking to themselves, why do I got to get all this stuff? Why can't I just walk into the bank and say, give me $100K? Because if you're trying to come and present your business to the bank and say, my business needs funding, you have to sell your business to the bank. There are tons of businesses out there that are also looking for funding. Why
Right.
should they give your business funding if you haven't given them anything that's appealing to them, right? So these are all things that are going to make your business look as legitimate as possible. So when you go to the bank to get the bag, they can't deny you. Point blank period. They can't deny you. So you want to get the business, you want to get the landing page, you want to get your official business email, you want to get a business phone number. What does a business phone number look like? It's not 718. I know you're in Philly. It's not 215. It's not 347. It's not 305. It's an 800 number. It's either 800, it's either 888, it's either 855. It start with an 8 and it probably end with an 8. You understand what I'm saying? It's an 800 number. Where can you find an 800 number? First place I would say is Ring Central. You can get a number on there for like 12, 20, maybe $30 a month. Very simple, very cheap. Get one set up for your official business, right? Now you got the business phone number set up. After you get the business phone number, next thing after that is you want to get the business address. And this is a huge one. Matter of fact, all these things that I'm mentioning now should actually be put in place before you go and you get the LLC and the EIN and operating agreement, because these are the things that are going to go into the paperwork when you do the LLC and the EIN and everything else. Business address, very important. A lot of people start their businesses out first thing they do is, because a lot of us are doing businesses from home or virtually, we make our business address our home address. Now, some people will tell you there's nothing wrong with that. But once again, if you go into the bank to get that bag, you want to make yourself look as legitimate as possible, right? You want to make yourself look as sexy as possible, right? So if I'm the bank and you come to me and you're A Lee LLC, and I pull your business up, and I pull your business address up, and I see 2424 Wallaby Road, New York, and I see you and I see your businesses in the trenches. I'm like, wait, hold on, what's going on here? Whoa, what you doing here? What you mean you want the bag? Get out of here. You don't belong here. Get going, right? But if you go to websites, and somebody just said that's a no, and it's public info, 100%. But if you go to websites like Regis.com, that's the website I'm using right now. I know another one is iPostal, but I'm not too fancy on iPostal. I personally use a website called Regis. You can get access to a virtual office that you're paying anywhere from like 20 to 50 to maybe $75 a month. And that virtual office will now be an address that you can connect directly to your business. So now when the banks go and look up your business information, say, oh, hold on. You live in 101 Fancy Town, USA. Hold on, what's this? I see skyscrapers. I see there's a dude outside. I'm on Google Maps. I'm looking outside. There's a dude with a suit standing in front of the building. Oh, you got a business. You got a business. Total game changer. So you want to get those things in order, right? And then from there, we talked about business and phone number. We talked about business address. We talked about business landing page, business. Yeah. And then from there, you're pretty much good to go from there. So you get that set up. You get
somebody.
Go ahead.
If I already have the business, can I go back and change the address? Yes, you can.
100%.
You just have to call. You have to sit on the phone and call and get through in order to talk to somebody to get them to change the address.
All you have to do is go to your Secretary of State website. You can fill out a form, and then from there you could get it changed. Now, I don't know how long it would take because I've never done it myself. But if you go to the Secretary of State, you can go back and get it changed to whatever the new address would be.
So if you do the form, it's like everything else. You send it to the government, they're going to take their time. But if you want to call and get it done instantly, you just got to play the phone game. Call 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning and sit on the phone 10, 15 minutes. Hopefully.
Hey, hold on. It's crazy, Ailey. I knew your community was solid. I didn't know they were solid. I'm seeing questions coming in. I'm seeing people showing. So somebody asked, is a P.O. box okay? No, a P.O. box is not okay. They want to see that your business is attached to an actual address, right? Here's a better answer to that question is this, right? When you're putting your business together, when you're structuring your business, you want to think like Apple, think like Amazon. These businesses do not have P.O. boxes. You go and you look up Google right now, it's not going to be P.O. box, this, and that. It's going to be 19 Cupertino Way, some fancy smancy building out in California, right? Now, we don't necessarily need all that, but we can get access to these virtual addresses that are connected to, fancy building, these big skyscrapers in whatever respective cities that we currently live in. But once again, a more simple answer to that question is no, you don't want to do a P.O. box. You want to do an actual business. You can either look at Regis.com or I don't use it. Other people do. iPostal.com is another great one. Also saw another young lady, I believe, asked, what is a landing page? A landing page is just a fancy name for a website. You want to make sure that your business has a website, right? Website, very cheap. You can go on Fiverr.com, pay somebody in Pakistan $30, and they could put together one for you within a matter of a couple of days. It doesn't have to be a super souped up website with, moving graphics and, all these crazy things. But it has to be a website so that if these banks look up your business, they are able to have a website that they can attach to your business to show that, okay, this is a legitimate business. So that's all it is. Landing page is just a website, right?
Right. I mean, even if you do have a P.O. box, I use the P.O. box just to get mail quickly or to throw stuff let all your water bills, your utility bills, they could go to the P.O. But as far as directing people, and every time somebody looks you up, they need to be looking at your real address, with a suite number or, floor, whatever, outside of your home address. And there's nothing wrong. Sometimes we got to start where we are. So I started with the suite using my house. That was my address. And I didn't know what I didn't know. Once I got put on with Herman and Newt, next thing it was like, oh, we lit. And you want another phone number situation, I use Grasshopper.
Yeah,
Grasshopper, multiple lines. So now you
facts.
got your admin got a phone number, you got another phone number, you know, your maintenance man got a phone number, and now y'all can dedicate these lines under that account.
Yeah, 100%. I actually found out, just learned about Grasshopper through my guy, Mr. Phenomenal. So thank you for bringing that one out. Shout out to you. Yeah. So now, right, your personal credit good, your business is structured. Now you excited because you're like, oh, it's time to go get the bag. Slow down. Slow down. It's a process. You understand? It's a buildup. Now that if you followed all these steps, your personal credit look good, your business is structured. Now the next thing that you want to do is you want to take some time to do research into the banks that you may be looking to go get business funding from. One thing that I recommend for a lot of people to do before they go and run out and try and apply for business credit cards or business lines of credit with certain banks is to first cultivate a relationship with that bank. How you cultivate a relationship with that bank is very simple. Before you go and run and apply for credit, open a business checking account with them, deposit some money in there, and just let it sit. Right now, and you will typically want to let it sit for at least 4 to 6 months, and then from there, after that time passes, you can circle back and then go. Then you can go and look to start applying for business funding. Some people, what they do, and you can do this if you have the funds to do so, they open the business checkings, they put like 100 in there, and then like every other week they'll just put in another 100, just so that the bank's data points can register that there's actual activity taking place here, and then you're not just letting the money sit, right? So if you have the funds to do that, and you know you're more than open and willing to do so, do that with the bank, then so be it. But then after those 4 to 6 months pass, after you've cultivated a relationship with that bank, the business is properly structured, then you could start looking to leverage your personal credit and to get some business funding.
That's a lot of good information. So I'm hoping you guys took notes and you guys put that together, because Marvin broke it down really simple for you. Can you just go back on the personal credit points, the 5 of those, just so people can, when they pull up their Credit Karma, their Equifax, they know what to look for?
Right. So first thing I'll say is, if you don't if you don't know what your credit report looks like, or you have an idea of what your credit report looks like, but you want a 100% precise breakdown of what your credit looks like, stay off the Credit Karmas, stay off the Experian, sign up for Identity IQ. And I'm not saying that because they pay me to say that, because they're not. I'm saying that because I want to make sure you have the most accurate breakdown of your credit report, and Identity IQ is going to give you that and then some, right? You sign up for Identity IQ, and then from there, once you get your Identity IQ, you're looking for 5 things to make sure that your credit profile is properly structured. You want to make sure that you have great payment history. You have no late payments, right? That's the first thing. Second thing on the list is you want to make sure that your credit card utilization is underneath 10%. Maximum should ever be around is 30%, but no higher than that, only lower. That's the second thing. Third thing after that is you want to make sure that your length of personal credit history, and this is the one thing that, once again, you have no control over, but for it to be in good standing, banks typically want to see anywhere from 2 to 4+ years, right? Anything less than that, your credit is still very new, so you're not going to be able to do much with it. But once you get to that 2-year mark, now you can start, exploring and having some fun. Then after that, you have credit mix. Like we discussed before, credit mix, simply put, is just a good mix of installment lines of credit and revolving lines of credit. So the banks don't want to just see that you have 50 credit cards. They want to see maybe you got like 4 or 5 credit cards, but then you got a student loan account. Then you got an auto loan. Then you got a couple, maybe some secured loans that you took out from the bank, right? A nice mixture of different types of accounts on your credit report, because this helps to show that you don't just know how to manage your debt on credit cards. Look, I can manage my debt that I got my student loan accounts. I can manage debt from a auto loan. I can manage debt from a secured loan, all these different things to make yourself look more appealing to the banks. And the fifth thing on that list, of course, is hard inquiries. You never want to have more than 2 to 4 hard inquiries on any of your on your credit report show on any credit bureau. Now, this one is very important because when it comes to hard inquiries, a lot of people notice, maybe some people don't. Every time you apply for a credit card, the same bureau does not get pulled, right? So there are some credit cards that pull from Experian. There's some credit cards that pull from Equifax. There's some credit cards that pull from TransUnion. But regardless, you never want more than 2 to 4 hard inquiries shown on any of those 3 bureaus, regardless of whether Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax. So if you get those 5 things together, the score will follow, and you should be good to go.
Got it. And I just dropped it in the chat. So it's Identity IQ,
Yes, sir.
identityiq.com. So if you want to go ahead and just pay for it. I think it's like $9.99, $14.99 a month.
You could sign up for a quick little 7-day trial for like $1. I think I have a link in my description as well. You can sign up for like a little 7-day trial for like $1. Just if you want to take a little sneaky peek. But you should still have I would recommend you stay subscribed to it anyways, because you should have some type of credit monitoring service that you're able to, make sure you're monitoring your credit as precisely as it needs to be on a month-to-month basis. And I don't think any platform does a better job of doing that than Identity IQ.
Gotcha. Well, we definitely appreciate that, man. Is there anything that I didn't ask or that we didn't touch on you feel like the people need to do or know? I honestly feel like my brain is on fire just hearing this again. And I don't know if people realize that credit is something you're always going to be learning, because credit is always an evolving game or evolving tool. Let me say not game, evolving tool. So,
Mm-hmm.
having somebody like Marvin or Herman or Newt, whatever it is that you're utilizing to help you improve your credit, you
Mm-hmm.
always just want to, when they talk, make sure you listen.
Man, you put me in the same conversation as Snoop, man. I gotta hold on. Let me sit up. Let me sit up. Let me sit up. Let me sit up, guys, because that's a big dog now. Let me sit up. All right, okay.
Okay, y'all the youngest, man. Y'all running the board out here, man. Y'all running the board.
Like we just following your lead. We saw you getting all this money. We was like, man, what's Haley doing out there, man? We got to make a phone call, send a text. We got to do something. This brother over here killing the game. But no, I mean, yeah, if you want, we talked about credit building. We talked about credit structure, and the one thing that we didn't talk about, I'll give a quick gem: credit repair, which I think is the most important thing, because there are some people that's probably watching this right now. Credit upside down. Credit, they look at their credit report, eyes start getting teary, chest get hot. They're like, yo, something's wrong. Something's going on here, right? Now I can't sit here and give a whole credit repair mastermind class on this IG live, but I will give a quick gem that a lot of people don't know. So one thing people don't know is that if you have negative accounts showing on your credit report right now, collections, bankruptcies, charged off accounts, the list goes on and on and on. A lot of people don't notice, but if you take time to go on your credit report and you scroll down to where the personal information section, if you're on Identity IQ, this is the first section that's at the very top of your credit report. You're going to go on your personal information section, and a lot of these people with negative accounts on their credit report have like 4 addresses, 5 employers, 7 misspelled names, a partridge in a pear tree. That section looked crazy, right? A lot of people don't notice, but a lot of the negative accounts that you have on your credit report are connected to excess personal information that's on your credit report. So there's somebody who's watching this live right now, and they're like, yo, I want to build my credit, but I got to fix it first. And I've been sending these letters. I've been making these phone calls. These things won't come off.
Right.
Big reason why is probably because, and I don't have everybody on here's credit report in hand right now, so I can't speak to this exactly, but 99% of the time, a big reason why you've been disputing on your own behalf, trying to get accounts off and they haven't been coming off, is because what the credit reporting agencies do is they will use anything under the sun to verify and validate why they should keep a negative account on your credit report, right? Anything. They'll take a toenail if they need to say, nah, see, look, here this go right here. Oh, sorry, you can't take it off. Try again next month. How you can work around it is that you want to take as much ammunition from the credit reporting agencies as possible when you're disputing. So a lot of times people just send letters and send disputes willy-nilly. I'm busy. People just send disputes. All right, cool. People just send disputes willy-nilly. People just send these disputes willy-nilly, right? But they don't
Right.
take the time to clean up they don't understand how little things like personal information are huge things. So what you could do is, before you start disputing, or even if you have already started disputing, one thing you could do to expedite or make your disputes more efficient, take time to remove excess personal information on your credit report. Your credit report should not have more than one name, your actual name that is properly spelled on your credit report. It should not have more than one employer and one address. If you got 2, 3 employers on there, you got to get those cleaned up. 2, 3 old addresses on there, maybe you move 8, 6, 7 times, got to get those cleaned up. If your name is spelled one way on your credit report, but spelled another way on that same credit report, you got to get that cleaned up. And then from there, speaking from personal experience as somebody who has a credit repair company, I've literally seen accounts fall off like hotcakes the second I got excess personal information wiped off. And a lot of people don't even notice, right? Now you may be thinking to yourself, okay, all right, cool, Gem. How do I do it? Another thing that people don't know is that when it comes to getting personal information removed, It's not a dispute, it's a request. So you can literally call into the credit reporting agencies and say, hey, this is not my name. This is not my address. I don't even work for this person no more. Take all this stuff off my credit report right now. Right now. And then from there, they'll wipe it clean, right? Or you can send a personal information request in, whether it be by fax or by a hard copy mail. And because it's not a dispute, like a lot of people who dispute on a credit report know that you can only send a dispute every 30 to 45 days because you got to give the credit reporting agencies to respond. When it comes to a request to get your personal information updated, you can send one every day. You can send one 4 times a day. You could send it 15 times a day because it's not a dispute, it's a request. By law, your credit report is not supposed to have excess personal information that is not valid to you. And if there's 18 addresses on there, you do not live in 18 different places. You only live in one. Get them extra addresses cleaned off, get them extra employers cleaned off, get them extra names cleaned off, and then from there, watch how even more efficient your disputes become now moving forward. So that's a little quick credit repair, Jeff.
Question, you said go. So I pulled up my Identity IQ.
Yeah, I saw you. Yeah. You know, information loves implementation, brother. I ain't mad at you.
Look, what they say, success loves speed.
Yeah, that brother Zoom. He said, "Wait, let me help on this Identity IQ right quick."
Right, you said go to my personal information, right?
The personal information. That's gonna be like the first box at the very top of your credit report. I guarantee. And you looking at it right now, right?
Yeah, so I'm on the home page. I got my scores.
Mm-hmm. Go to that personal information section.
I swear I just was in there.
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
Credit report, checking score, trading, monitoring. I swear, I just
Take your time. Take your time. It's all right. I know. I'm here with you. I ain't going nowhere. I got you.
I was just hyped. My score is looking good. My score is looking good.
So, and that's a gem for everybody. Like I said, there's people watching this right now, and they're like, yo, I cannot get this collection account off my credit report for nothing. Like, what is going on here? And not even knowing that you got an old address that's just chilling on your credit report that the credit reporting agencies are using as ammo to say, this thing's staying on. You can say,
I see personal information.
Boom.
Right. So it got me down.
Talk to me. Take your time. Breathe.
They got my P.O. box on there.
Mm-hmm.
They got a house I don't have no more on there.
Say, sound like you got to make a phone call. Sound like you got to send a letter in. Hey, what's this? I don't know what this is. Go ahead, take this thing off for me real quick. What is this? I've never seen this before in my life.
So the other address that's on there is not my address, but I know I'm linked to the account as an authorized user.
Okay. And so meaning that that's interesting. That's very, very interesting. So you're basically saying, is that an address that you could still get removed?
I mean, it ain't my address.
Go ahead, take that thing off. Look, what Boozy said, wipe me down. Just go ahead, just like this one time. Just take that off.
Right. And it got 2 of my old employers on one of them.
Wipe me down. One time. Just boom. Wax on, wax off. Mr. Miyagi, take that thing off. You can make a phone call. I got to get that off. Gotta get that off.
Yeah, these inquiries is bad, though.
Yeah, no, if Lee, if you let me see your credit report, you got more than 2 or 4 on there, we might have to fight. We just might. Not you.
TransUnion, I got 17.
Let me go ahead. Yo, what's going on, man? What's going on?
They said it. Look, like you said, we've been running the information and putting the plays together. They've been giving me plays, and I've been running them.
You running too fast. Slow down, brother. Now we're 17. Can I give him one more credit repair, Jim? Can I give him one more credit? Just one more. I don't want to give him 2. Can I give him one more? He's all right. It's okay with you?
Give it to him, player.
You know, there's some people on here. We talk about taking ammunition away from the credit reporting agencies when we're disputing, right? We talk about taking away credit reporting ammunition when we're disputing. A lot of people don't know that. And everybody knows Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. A lot of people don't know about secondary credit reporting agencies, the specialty credit reporting agencies, and how they play a role in credit repair. Right? Can I talk? Is it okay?
Talk your talk.
I don't want to intrude. I know this is a real estate page. I don't want to rub nobody the wrong. It's okay. I want to
Talk,
make sure. So, you
talk
sure?
your.
Let me talk. Everybody knows about Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. A lot of people don't talk about specialty credit reporting agencies like LexisNexis, SageStream, ARS, Innovis, CoreLogic. A lot of people don't know that, once again, credit reporting agencies love information. That's what they do. They literally get paid to furnish information, furnish data on the behalf of creditors that you have relationships with, right? And everybody knows our Experian, everybody knows about TransUnion, everybody knows about Equifax, but nobody talks about the other specialty agencies that are also feeding information to Experian, TransUnion, Equifax to help them keep information on your credit report, like LexisNexis, SageStream, ARS, and the ones that I just named, right? So I'll say this. There's somebody watching us right now that probably has a medical collections on their credit report that they haven't been able to get off their credit report, right? If you have a medical collections on your credit report, I want you to get off this live. Maybe you don't even want to make it through this live. You want to hop on it right now because success loves speed. I want you to look up NCTUE. No, I'm lying. MIB. That's the right one. MIB.
Say it
All right.
again.
Say, you want me to say it? I'm gonna say it slow. MIB. I want you to look up MIB Incorporated. MIB is a specialty credit reporting agency that helps to feed information for all medical collections that may be shown on your personal credit report for Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So what you could do is you can find MIB, and I actually made a video about this. Find MIB, find out what their mailing address is, and if you've been disputing on your own behalf to get a medical collections removed and you haven't been able to get it off, send that same dispute over to MIB as well, because they may also be feeding information to the credit reporting agencies that's keeping that negative account on there, right? Once again, you want to blitz the credit reporting agencies in as many different directions as possible. So if you have a medical election on there, go ahead and send a letter over to them as well. Let's say you have a collections on your credit reporting agency that's from Verizon or from a gas company or electric company or a water company. I'm gonna give them another one. I want you to look up NCTUE. I'll say that one more time. Look up NCTUE. I think it's the National Collections for Utilities, Telecommunications, and I forget what the last one is. They are a specialty credit reporting agency that helps to feed information for collections on your account that come from telecommunication companies. So things like Verizon, Metro PCS, Sprint, AT&T, because I know some of y'all don't be paying off phone bills. Now you got this collection on your credit report from Sprint, and you've been trying to get it off. You don't know what to do. Send the same disputes that you've been sending to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, send it over to NCTUE. You understand? Or if you have a collection on your credit report from a utility bill, let's say you had a gas bill you ain't paid, now it's a collection on your credit report, a water bill, an electric bill, the same disputes that you've been sending over to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, send it over to NCTUE. Because chances are they are probably furnishing information to Experian, to TransUnion, to Equifax to keep that account on your credit report. So you want to dispute in as many different directions as you possibly can to increase the efficiency of the dispute and get that thing off. I just want to give them a little something. I just want
So
to give
look,
just a little bit.
look, this
Just
is
a little bit.
teamwork make the dream work. MIB Inc. Right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
50 Braintree Hill
Yep.
Park,
That's the one.
Suite 400.
Yes, sir. That's the one. That's the one. Go ahead.
Braintree MA 02184.
Yep.
I know it's a lot of people on here in this live that got some medical collections.
Oh, I know good. I've been seeing some things. Yeah. Yep. Go ahead and go. Or if you, like I said, if you got a gas bill, electric bill, phone bill that's on your credit report that went to collections, NCTUE. I don't have the address for that one off the top of my head, but NCTUE, that's another great one. Specialty. Send your letters over to them as well. You understand? To increase the efficiency of your dispute, to increase your chances of getting that account removed from your credit report.
But Marv, say if I'm not that savvy, I don't know how to write letters, but I don't really feel like dealing with it. Can I just connect with you, do a consultation, and pay you to do this?
Of course you can. Of course you can. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. You understand? If you like, you know what, I could do this. I ain't trying to do this. I'd rather pay a company to do it. You can head over to francoiscapital.com. You understand? You can book a free consultation. We don't charge you for Nathan. So book a free consultation, and from there, we take a look at your credit report. We see what's going on there, and all the stuff I'm asking you to do. Maybe you don't have the time or the energy to do it. We do all our hard work for you, so you don't have to, and then you're good to go.
I got a question for you, Marv. Like you said, I already know what I got, and I already knew my increase is always my problem, right?
Right, right. Talk to me.
How much you charge to get increase removed?
I got so we have two packages right now. We have I think a $300 package and a $400 package. However, I will say on the live right now we're actually not taking hard inquiry clients. Only reason I say that is because we've had we've had some difficulties dealing with clients that just have inquiries by themselves. So right now we're actually going back to the drawing board and refining some of our dispute methods to find something that's efficient. Because for me, I believe hard inquiry disputes should never take more than like 2 to 3 months max, regardless of how many you got on there. Unless it's like a crazy amount, like 100 or something crazy like that. It shouldn't take like 2 to 3 months. So what I started seeing in my company was it wasn't that we weren't getting results for hard inquiry clients, but it was taking a lot longer than we believed that it should have been taking. So we kind of put that on hold just so that we can go back to the drawing board, keep testing it out, see what works best to make sure that the product that we're putting out there, the service that we're putting out there is A1 from day one. So right now we're not taking hard inquiry clients, but as soon as we are taking them up again, now I think we're gonna make a note on the website so that people know. But for right now, we're only taking like full credit repair, people that need things like collections, bankruptcies, charge-offs, delinquent accounts, things like that removed from their credit report.
Got you. So again, Marv, drop this. Give me the site for you to do the consultation.
FrancoisCapital.com. So that's F like Frank, R like Robert, A like Ali, N like Nancy, C like Charlie, O like Oscar, I like Indigo, S like Sammy, Capital like Capitol Hill, capital of the state, capital letter.com. And then from there, once you get there, you're going to see a tab at the top that says book a consultation or free consultation. You book a consultation there, sign up with my team, and then we take care of you.
Capital.
Yes, sir.
CAP. I'm it all up.
Francois Capital.
Okay. I'm about to pin it in the comp
It's crazy. My screen is frozen, so I haven't even been able to see like the comments and stuff like that. Like I see you, but like the viewer count is frozen. The comments is stuck. I don't know what happened, but so I'm kind of just riding off you like what you got going on your end. But yeah, FrancoisCapital.com.
I'm trying to pin it. So look, again, if you want a consultation, you appreciated this information, connect with Marv, do the free consultation with him, let him look at your situation, but don't forget to sign up for Identity IQ so you at least reference what you're talking about and what you're asking for. And then also, if you're in Philadelphia or have access to Philadelphia, you want to learn about the home buying process. You want to learn what credit can do for you and how it can change your life. In person, June 4th, myself and the Good Neighbor Real Estate team, we're doing a free home buyer event where we're going to, again, give you the tools you need to have a 660 credit score or better, but then also give you the tools you'll need in order to purchase a home, even in this tight market of sellers just going crazy with these houses. But don't fear, buyers. With interest rates going up, sellers are also understanding it's costing people more money, so housing prices are slightly adjusted. So if you were going to pay $300, now you might pay $275. That $275 makes a world of a difference, make your mortgage a lot cheaper and your closing cost a lot less. So again, let's put you in position. Marvin gave y'all the gems tonight to fix your credit. Come out next week, June 4th, so that you guys can purchase a home and fire your landlord in 2022.
Boom. There you go. I love it, man. Thank you for having me, my brother. I appreciate it.
Nah, thank you. I'm going to save this live because you gave mad gems, mad information, man.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Hoping they took heed, and if they missed it, just hit the playback button. It's going to be a good. And like, look, now you got me. I'm about to go hit this stuff up. I need to hit up, set my alarm 8 o'clock. I'm gonna call the IRS people, change the address to the right address.
There you go.
Boom, I got a list of things to do.
Let's go. Let's make it happen, man.
Nah, but honestly, man, like I said, definitely appreciate you, man. I hope you have a good weekend. Salute to you, man. And keep doing what you're doing, man. The people need you, man. I don't know if your friends realize it, but they blessed to have you in their circle. Hopefully they're using your knowledge, man.
Man, every time I talk to my friends, I'm like, yo, am I doing good? And they're like, you're doing all right, but you're not doing like A-League good. You on your way. You understand? Like you got to keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? It's levels to this. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Hey, man, I tell people all the time, man, it ain't everybody running their own race. It's just the only difference is, you just see people a little more often than you see others. But just because you don't see somebody don't mean they're not working, man. That's all.
100%, 100%, 100%.
You know. But nah, seriously, thank you again. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And like I said, don't forget, next week, home buyer event, June 4th. It's going to be another dope one. We putting y'all in the house this year. Or if you want to, start investing in real estate, come on out June 4th. You can't miss it. We giving y'all the information to help y'all change your lives. So thanks again. Marvin, anything you want to leave them with?
What's the saying? Information. Oh yeah, boom. I think one of my favorite quotes, I guess, is like information changes situations, but not without implementation. So I love dropping gems. I love giving information. I love sharing value, but it means nothing if you don't take the information and you don't run with it, right? So I really and truly hope that I was able to add value to somebody's life today. And if I were able to get just one DM was like, yo, I did what you said, and this fell off, or I got this removed, or whatever it may be, that would make me feel absolutely amazing. So, hopefully I was able to help somebody out, whether it was in building out your credit report or help you get approved for a card or helping you structure your business properly or helping you in your credit repair journey or whatever the case may be. And hopefully, I know he's a busy man. Hopefully Amy brings you back on. I don't know. Like I said, I just wait for the call. I just wait for a call. We'll see.
I'm surprised you ain't make me hit the link in your bio just to get you on here, good brother. You know what I mean? Like I said, I just appreciate that. I appreciate all my guests that take the time out for me and share this information, share this knowledge. Again, I tell people, all these people that y'all probably know and walk by, y'all just don't realize they're the people that we all talk to and leverage information with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
100%. 100%.
I appreciate you, man. But thank you again. Y'all have a good night. Be safe. And Marv, I get with you. I'm gonna let you know how this stuff go.
Talk to me, man. I'm here, man. Let me know, all right?
All right, my man.
All right, bro.
All right.